Throughout history, humans have faced the impossible. Trapped in storms, stranded in the wild, or left alone where no one should ever be. But somehow, against every odd, they survived. Welcome back, everyone, and these are the most epic survival stories ever told. It was October 13th, 1972. A chartered Uruguayan Air Force plane carried 45 people and a rugby team, their friends and family, across the Andes Mountains toward Chile. But a navigation error sent them straight into disaster. The plane clipped a ridge, tearing off its wings before smashing into a glacier. 12 people died instantly. Those who survived were stranded in one of the coldest, most isolated regions on Earth. Days passed. The radio crackled with news they dreaded. The search had been called off. They were presumed dead. At minus 30 degrees Celsius, with little food, they began rationing chocolate and wine. But when that ran out, starvation began. Then came the avalanche that buried the fuselage, killing 8 more as they slept. The survivors were left with an unthinkable choice: to eat the frozen bodies of their friends or die. It was a decision that broke their hearts, but saved their lives. After 72 days in the mountains, 2 men, Nando Parado and Roberto Canessa, decided to risk everything. With no climbing gear, no map, and barely any food, they set out across the Andes on foot. For 10 days, they scaled icy cliffs, crossed glaciers, and endured blistering snowstorms. When they finally stumbled upon a Chilean shepherd, their nightmare ended, and 16 lives were saved. When the world gave up on them, they didn't give up on themselves. That's the true miracle of the Andes. April 26, 2003. An ordinary day for adventurer Aron Ralston. He was hiking alone through Utah's Blue John Canyon. No phone, and no one knew where he was going. Then, in an instant, everything changed. A boulder dislodged and pinned his right arm against the canyon wall. He was trapped. Ralston tried everything, pulling, pushing, even using his climbing gear. But the rock wouldn't move. Hours turned into days. He had no food, little water, and no way to call for help. He recorded farewell messages to his family on a small camcorder, convinced he would die there. But on the 5th day, as his strength faded, he realized something. He could free himself, only one way. Using a dull multi-tool, Aron amputated his own arm below the elbow. No painkillers, no help. Just sheer willpower. He rappelled down a 20-meter drop, hiked 11 kilometers through the desert, and finally found rescuers, barely conscious but alive. Today, Aron still climbs. His story isn't about losing an arm. It's about never surrendering, no matter how impossible the odds. December 24th, 1971. 17-year-old Juliane Koepcke boarded a flight with her mother over the Peruvian rainforest. Then, without warning, the plane was struck by lightning. It disintegrated midair. Juliane was ripped from the cabin, still strapped to her seat, and fell 10,000 feet into the jungle canopy. Somehow, she survived. She awoke in pain with a broken collarbone and deep cuts. All around her, silence. For days, she wandered through dense forest, swarmed by mosquitoes and leeches, drinking muddy water from streams. Her only guide were her father's words. "If you follow water, you'll find people." So she followed a small creek for 11 days. Her wounds festered, her clothes rotted, but she never stopped walking. Finally, she found a hut used by loggers. They cleaned her wounds and led rescuers back to her. Juliane was the only survivor out of 92 people aboard that flight. Years later, she returned to the crash site, not in fear but gratitude, because she learned what survival really means. In 1914, explorer Ernest Shackleton set out to do the impossible: cross Antarctica on foot. His ship, the Endurance, carried 27 men. But only months into the journey, disaster struck. Sea ice trapped the ship, locking it in a frozen grip that would never release. For nearly 10 months, the crew lived on the ice as the Endurance was slowly crushed and sank beneath them. Now stranded with no ship, no radio, and no rescue in sight, Shackleton's mission changed, and from exploration to survival. They built makeshift camps on drifting ice, and when the floes melted, they launched lifeboats and reached Elephant Island, a frozen wasteland with no hope of rescue. Shackleton then made a bold decision. He and 5 men would sail a lifeboat, the James Caird, across 800 miles of the roughest seas on Earth. For 2 weeks, they fought hurricane winds, freezing waves, and near death. But they reached South Georgia Island, barely alive. From there, Shackleton crossed an uncharted mountain range on foot to reach a whaling station and organized a rescue. Every single man from the Endurance survived. Shackleton's leadership remains a timeless lesson. A true leader doesn't escape first. He brings everyone home. August 5th, 2010. 33 miners descended into the San Jose copper mine in Chile. Unaware they were about to be buried alive, a massive cave-in sealed them 2,300 feet underground, cutting off all exits. Days passed, food ran low, the air grew thick. For 17 days, the world thought they were dead. But then a drill broke through, and rescuers pulled up a note that stunned the world. "We are well in the refuge." The 33. From that moment, an international rescue mission began. Engineers drilled a new shaft wide enough for a human capsule. Meanwhile, the miners rationed food to 1 spoon of tuna every 2 days, sang songs to stay sane, and held daily prayers. After 69 days underground, the first miner was pulled to the surface, alive. Then another, and another. All 33 men were rescued. The world watched, millions cheering, as the last man stepped out of the capsule, raising his hands to the sky. A moment of pure humanity, proof that sometimes miracles are man-made. If you enjoyed that video, guys, please subscribe and